So remember when we were talking about like the preseason and like my boy Anthony was like, "Hey, do you think Devin Booker has the right players around him to shine?" Blah blah blah. And I kind of mentioned twice that the hope is that the Suns will, again, I know I sound like a broken record, that the Suns will be like a more athletic, more fun team. This segment I'm going to call it Suns Geeks. Sorry. I'm going to call this segment Suns Geeks Wishful Thinking for the 2025-26 NBA season. And we all know last season was extremely frustrating. It was, and I like to reference it this way. It sort of stood out when the Suns would actually compete. It stood out when the Suns would come back in games and win. It stood out when there was like a lot of hustle and effort and defense. I don't know how many games the Suns are going to win this season. Hopefully, it's enough to get into a playoff spot. Fingers crossed on that. But I just hope that not only are the Suns hopefully going to be more exciting and fun to watch, but that they're just a little more competitive. And that's sort of the key word here. Competitive. Yeah, obviously I wish the Suns could win all 82 games and we'd be the NBA champions and we'd have a month-long parade in downtown Phoenix. Yeah, I wish that obviously, but it's probably unlikely it's going to happen. But do I wish and hope that the Suns will be competitive? And by that, I simply mean that will they be there at the end of ball games? Will they make games close? Will they make the other team be like, damn, we had to fight for that game? Or like, man, we let our guard down and that's why the Phoenix Suns beat us. Or like, hey, we had a 20-point lead, which isn't as much as it seems in today's NBA. And all of a sudden, the Suns came back and won the game. And like Brian says, competitive and play defense. I want to see a defensive, competitive team out there. And like, I kind of referenced this earlier. Matt Ishbia has been saying it a lot this offseason. New Suns head coach Jordan Knott and New Suns GM Brian Gregory is like, hey, we're going to be more competitive and all this stuff. This season is where they should prove it. And like a comment earlier, where it's like, hopefully this preseason will actually matter, And I hope that they can prove that to us. I hope those first 7 games and 10 nights or whatever it is really can show us Suns fans that not only is this going to be a more fun season, but a more competitive season. I don't care if it's the Oklahoma City Thunder, who just won the championship, by the way, who were a super dominant team like all season long. And I don't even care if it's the stinky, rebuilding Washington Wizards. I want the Suns to be in those games, competing their tails off and actually in the ball game. Again, I don't know how many games the Suns are going to win. This is sort of the start of no, I take that back. It is a new era of Phoenix Suns basketball. You can call it a rebuild. You can call it a retool. I call it a new era of Suns basketball. And I just hope, I'm wishful thinking here. Suns Geek is wishful thinking that we just have a competitive roster that plays hard, plays defense, and gets Suns fans excited. There were only a few times last season where I actually jumped up or reacted like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? Or did a reaction video. And I've said this a lot of times on the channel, and I'm going to say it more, that last season was the most negative, was the most pessimistic that I've ever been as a Suns fan. And whether you're new to this channel or you've been watching me since day one, or you're like my good friend Anthony, who's known me for years and knows that I'm one of the biggest Suns fans on the planet, I'm one of the most, if not the most positive Suns fan there ever is, ever was, ever is, whatever. And like last season, I just stopped caring. And like I have a YouTube channel to run. I share a bunch of Instagram, like Sun stuff on Instagram and all that. I just kind of stopped caring because the Suns clearly did not care. They didn't care either. So I was like, why should I care? There's literally a video on my channel of John from the Suns Jam. Matthew was there. Fanning the Flames was there. Gavin from the Aussie Suns Fans podcast was there. We were all drinking, having a good time, eating good food. And we literally celebrated and literally applauded the end of the Phoenix Suns season. I don't think I've ever done that in my life, but we literally all clapped and cheered and made fools of ourselves at a restaurant. And it was such a great time because it was just like, thank goodness it's over, man. But hopefully this season, hopefully we'll be in the arena, or we'll be in downtown Phoenix, or we'll be in our houses or whatever it is. And we'll just be celebrating wins. And not only wins, I mean, we obviously all hate to lose, but like maybe we'll be like, you know what? The Suns lost, but damn, they were in that game. That's it. That's all we're asking. Matt Ishbia, if you're listening, Brian Gregory, Jordan Ott, Devin Booker, if you're listening, which I know you're not. That's all we want. We want Devin Booker to shine. We want him to be an all-star again. Give us that too. Suns Geek Wishful Thinking. Maybe this will be a new segment on the channel. We'll call it Suns Geeks Wishful Thinking, where we just wish on things and we hope for things and we sort of make predictions. Obviously, I'm biased, but that was one of the best like rants, tangents, segments I think I've ever had in the history of this channel.